And great to have joining us today on our Book Talk segment. A woman has written a very interesting, fascinating book. I think we've all kind of wondered how many people are looking at what we do online or wherever we may happen to be. This book is called Dragnet Nation, A Quest for Privacy, Security, and Freedom in a World of Relentless Surveillance. We're joined today by Pulitzer Prize-winning journalist Julia Angwin on the telephone. And Julia, good to talk to you. How are you today?
I'm great. It's great to be here.
Good to have a chance to chat with you. I read through the book, and I've always been kind of fascinated by the technology of what's out there, and a lot of things I didn't even know. I'm glad I read your book. There's some things out there that are a little surprising.
I myself was surprised, and I have been writing about this topic for 4 years.
It really is when you think about it. You kind of almost dove headfirst into it, trying to, I guess, eliminate kind of trace of your own personal life, right, online and what's ever out there, didn't you?
Yeah, I decided that I wanted to keep as much technology as I could. I don't want to live in the woods and just write with sticks or whatever, but I definitely wanted to minimize the amount of digital footprint I was leaving. And so I set out to see how much could I do that while still retaining all the benefits of technology.
Almost impossible to do when you think of it. I mean, even just your checking account or you're paying your bills, that's on there. I mean, phone aside, I mean, it's very difficult even if you use a credit card. Right? And almost impossible to do.
It is difficult, and but I have to say that there were some things I was able to do. I was able to install software on my computer that blocked some of the ubiquitous online ad tracking. I was able to install software on my web browser that encrypted my internet connections, which prevented any sort of snoopers from listening in as I was surfing the web. I was able to switch off of Google search and find another search engine that doesn't store any records of my searches. I was able to leave Facebook and LinkedIn and without any dire repercussions. So I did sort of reclaim some of my information.
When you think of it, every time you go online now, this is what we're told, that it's all stored somewhere, no matter what you do. If you clear out your cookies and your cache and all that kind of thing, I guess you really can't totally eliminate anything online, right? I guess you had some kind of software you talked about, a different search engine, so that doesn't leave any kind of trace, right?
Yeah, the search engine I use called DuckDuckGo doesn't store any logs, so they don't even record the information that's automatically transmitted by my computer when I arrive there. They throw it away, and they don't track my searches. The way that you know that it's working is that it's actually a little harder to search. When you search on Google, they finish your sentence for you, right? You're halfway through the word, and they're like, oh, I know what you're looking for. And the reason they know what you're looking for is they know who you are, they know where you are, they know what you've searched for in the past, and so they can kind of read your mind. So when I switched to this other search engine, at first I was sort of jarred by the fact that I had to write the whole word. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much work. But then I realized this is a benefit. I'm getting what I want. I'm not getting what they think I want.
And now more people are seeing, I've noticed it myself, even on your own email or a website you check, maybe Yahoo or whatever, just to check news, the ads now are popping up that say, well, how do they know I might be interested in this? I may have checked on that, a while ago to look to buy a pair of shoes or buy something else, and that ad is popping up with that particular product. So I guess that's a byproduct of them getting that information on you, right? They're popping up ads that they think you're going to want to buy, right?
That is, unfortunately, a lot of this tracking is driven by the advertiser's desire to just find the perfect moment to catch you for their ads, and you see that when the ads follow you around the internet, and that's our one little window into the fact that they are following us around the internet, and I find that disturbing. I don't mind that the website that I'm visiting knows I'm there, but why do dozens of other companies need to be invisibly embedded on that page also knowing I'm there?
Yeah. Now, putting the advertising aside, I guess this information in the wrong hands could be used against you somehow, right? I mean, that's the real dangerous point. You pointed that out in the book.
Yeah, I think that the problem is we have no assurances that our data will only be used for benign purposes, right? We can't be promised that. A lot of these companies are willing to sell it to whoever asks. And then the government is also, we've learned, particularly through the Snowden revelations, the government is very interested in this data and will get it any way it can through secret court orders or sometimes by hacking into things.
Aren't they building, at least I heard this a couple of years ago, huge data farms out in New Mexico or something? Are they still doing that? Have you know any more about what's going on there?
Yeah, they are. The NSA is building a big data center in Utah that is going to be the world's largest data center. And, they obviously aren't going to say what's in there, but experts have said that it is so large that it could basically store all of our emails and phone calls for everybody.
I guess the benefit that, at least, that you try and sell the people on, well, it's for security and it's going to protect us, and that may be true, but like you said, in the wrong hands, that information can be used to hurt people, or at least...
yes, absolutely. I mean, look at
extort people, I guess, right? Is the right word.
I mean, NSA has said, "Oh, we're doing all this, we're collecting all this information about us, but you shouldn't worry because we're only going to look at it when it's appropriate, and we're only going to use it for terrorism investigations, et cetera, et cetera." But it's very hard to believe them when Edward Snowden walked out of their own offices with,
right,
all sorts of files that he wasn't supposed to be accessing. And so it's sort of like, okay, well, why are we supposed to trust you again with all of our data?
You talk in the book about getting, I guess they call it a burner phone now, not a regular cell phone. Do you have to keep changing that?
Yes, the best practice is to keep getting new burner phones, but it's just a lot of work. I mean, this is the problem. I've tried more than anyone, I think, to protect my privacy, and it's an absurd way to live. Buying new phones every few weeks, and setting up new email addresses with fake identities all the time. I mean, this is not a way to live. One reason I did it was to show people that this is not right. We shouldn't have to do this to protect our privacy. There must be another way.
You also say put a piece of tape or piece of paper over your computer camera. I didn't realize, even if it's off, that I guess there are some software out there that can still spy through your computer camera, even though it's not on.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's some sort of hacker rings out there who have software that's really available online that basically can remotely activate your camera. And they have to trick you into downloading that software, but, if you get an email with a link in it, you click on it by mistake, and all of a sudden the camera's there, that software's downloaded, you're not going to know that, and then they would be able to remotely turn on your camera, and they've done this, but they've, taken pictures of people in their bedrooms and then extorted them, saying, look, I have these nude pictures of you, I'm going to release them if you don't give me money. And so this is sort of a new criminal tactic that I think people should just be cautious about. So me and most people in the hacker technology community actually put stickers over their cameras. And then if you want to use the camera, you can take the sticker off, but at least you know that when you're not using it, it's not on.
So look at a blank screen.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess some people might say out there, well, like you said, is this a way to live? Let that information, whatever it is, get out there, and I'll just, got to live my life that way. Why bother with all this? Is that a good attitude to have?
Well, I mean, look, I don't particularly want to bother with it either. I would much rather not do all this stuff. But the truth is that this is the world we live in. It's a technology and data-saturated world, and if you aren't cautious with your data and you aren't a little bit tech literate, people are going to try to exploit you. And whether it's a criminal hacker ring or an advertiser who's just trying to get you to buy shoes, either way, it's something that we're going to have to learn how to navigate, because otherwise we're going to be kind of sitting ducks.
Well, it's a fascinating topic, and the book is as well. It's called Dragnet Nation. We've been talking with Julia Angwin today. And Julia, I know it just kind of came out, doing very well already, but do you have a website you can direct people to?
Absolutely. It's juliaangwin.com. It's ANGWIN. And I have a section on my website called Privacy Tools, where I list some of the software I use to protect my privacy in case people want to try it.
Great. Julia, pleasure to talk to you today, and keep up the good work, and we'll talk to you again soon down the road. Thanks for joining us.
Great.